All right, so today you guys are going to paint your fishbowl after you finish coloring in the fish with this special technique called wet on wet. So you're going to be using cool colors, and the wet part is just adding water first and then the color of your paint. So I want you guys to be mixing kind of the cool colors together, and the water will kind of help spread it out. It also makes it look a little bit more like regular water when you add those cool colors together. And I like to mix different colors on top. So once you have a little bit done, remember you're going to do water first and then a little bit of the paint on top of it. Sometimes I just add little dots to kind of make it look kind of blobby. Sometimes you can just use the water that you've already got on your paper. I'm going to put a little bit more blue. There's this really pretty kind of teal blue color that I think looks nice. So make sure you get all of that painted, and then you're also going to paint the bottom too. So you're going to have a little bit on the top, a little bit on the bottom, and sometimes I just use, again, this water. If you get outside the lines a little bit, that's okay, because we're going to actually cut these out. Put more green down there. I added a little bit of texture. All right, so the salt part is going to be at the end. Grab a little pinch of salt and then just sprinkle that over the wet paper. Make sure you got enough of it wet, and that will leave a little teeny white dot. And I'm going to show you what we do next after that. Okay, so once you've cut out your fishbowl, and I actually outlined the lines that I drew with pencil with black so that you could see those a little bit better, but it looks really nice. We're going to put that sort of in the middle, and you can adjust it depending on where you want your table. I just put mine right there in the middle. We're going to draw an oval around the fishbowl. So use a darker color that you can see. And if you want to do this first with pencil, you can. That makes you a little bit feel better about that. And then that's going to be your table. The legs you can design on your own, and you can use a different color for that. But once you have your table drawn, you're going to use your oil pastel to fill in that color. I think I'm going to use a different color. Just right on top of the painting, you're going to fill that in. You can see the oil pastel is nice and dark. I'm just going to kind of blend some of that black that I already drew in to my oil pastel. I love using oil pastel because the colors you can blend easily. So if I want to maybe add a little bit of a different color brown, I can mix that in with it too. It doesn't have to be one color. Or sometimes I even add maybe some orange or some red into my picture. And I didn't quite glue my fish tank down quite yet, just so I can get underneath it with my oil pastel. All right. With the legs, you guys can decide again what you want to draw for the legs. You might decide you want to wait for a minute until you kind of have an idea for that. You can use a different color depending on the color of your painting. Blue is sort of a darker color, so a lighter color might look better for that. I'm going to think about that for a minute, and then I will come back and we'll start on the patterns. Okay, finished coloring a lot of my table. Now here's what I really want you guys to notice. I want you to make sure that you get really, this part you can see, I still see some of that yellow showing through. Really make sure you get all of that painting part covered up with your oil pastel, and you don't see that painting anymore. You want it to be a nice dark color. Sometimes I even take my finger and sort of try to blend those little crumbs that fall from the oil pastel. And I like those streaks. I added a little bit of black, and then I kind of started blending them, and they made these streaks, and I think that looks more like a painting than it did before. So make sure you get all of the oil pastel covering up the part of your table. And I added some legs here. I can add some details if I want to add some details, maybe outline some of those. This is, again, all up to you, how you want to make your table look. Maybe I need to go back over and outline my table with black again if I really want that outline to be dark. Once you have that finished, then you're going to start adding some patterns, and you can glue down, if you would like to glue down your picture of your fishbowl at this point, you can glue it down. And then your patterns are going to be kind of in the background on the walls. So however you want to do your patterns, you can do something simple. Think about the colors though. If I have a bright yellow, I might want to do a darker color for a contrast. Polka dots are really nice. They're easy. They cover up the color very easily. You could even turn these into flowers. Maybe I want to turn a couple of these into some flowers. I could add some petals. That would be simple. And I might leave that empty or I might color those petals in. So that's what we're going to be working on for today.